I don't know if you've heard yet, but I'm doing a consultant coach intensive this fall. It starts in August. It's 12 weeks long. We're going to go after it. So if you're a woman who is called to coach and ready to build your business, and even if you've already started and you just feel like you don't have all of the system in place that you need to scale or grow or even just start, this is meant for you. It's for massive action takers. Even if you normally aren't a massive action taker, we're going to work through that together. You're going to have people going in the same direction you are, and you're going to have it so much done in 3 months. Parkinson's law says that the work will expand in the amount of time you give it. So if you think that you have years to develop your coaching offer, your skills, your business, and all of the things, you're going to take years to do it. But if you have 12 weeks that you set aside and intentionally say, I'm inspired to do this, I'm called to do this, I will be obedient in stewarding what I've been called to do well, and I'm going to go do it with a bunch of other people who are passionate about doing it also, and somebody who's laid out a framework that I can follow so I don't waste time, money, and energy, it's for you. So Consultant Coach Intensive, it's a 12-week mastermind for women who are called to coach and ready to build. You can go to the website, sterlingandstonementoring.com/consultant coach intensive. We're going to take your life story and wisdom and experience and develop it so that it can intertwine with coaching skills so you can help people right where they're at from right where you are. I'm so excited for everyone that God calls to this because I know it's going to be really powerful. It's exactly what I wish I had had when I first felt the call to become a coach and start a business. And I'm going to pour myself into it. So I want people who are ready to pour themselves into it alongside of me. Make sure you apply, and if you get in and apply before July 31st, you get early bird pricing. I can't wait to see you in there.
You have just tapped into the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. I'm here to equip and encourage coaches in skills, business, personal life, and faith. I believe you're already 100% worthy and capable, and you're called for such a time as this. So let's get you walking it out with courage and confidence so you can be an amazing coach who sees transformation and great results in both your life and the lives around you. Let's get started.
Today, we're talking about the fact that you do not have to quit what you're doing right now, and you don't have to sabotage what matters to you right now to begin something fresh and new. I want to address this common concern a lot of people have when they think that they want to become a coach and or start a business. You don't have to leave your current job to start coaching, and you don't have to ignore your family or your home to begin dreaming and taking action. You don't need a huge following first. You don't need a perfect niche or a full 40 hours a week set aside to do this. You can just start small and be part-time and go with what you already know. Coaching is one of the most flexible, customizable industries out there right now. And when you build it with intention, it can become something very meaningful, sustainable, and even income generating without burning you out or pulling you away from your current responsibilities and roles in life. You can call it a side hustle if you want, but if you don't like that term, you can call it a passion project. Lots and lots of people have passion projects that make them income. Some of them make them millionaires. I have not yet created that app. So I want you to hear this from somebody who's actually lived that out, because I'm not just sharing it as a theory. It is the way I have done it. I've literally walked out the journey of growing my passion project / side hustle into a successful business. At the same time, I've had 2 other full-time jobs. And I will say on a side note, a job doesn't imply you get paid for it or that you get paid in dollars. So some of us work 24/7, 365 for decades and only get paid in hugs and smiles and tears and unfolded laundry. And at the end of your life, that kind of payment's actually worth more than any amount of dollars in the bank. and what they could add to your story. So I had to say that on the side. But one of my full-time jobs is that I'm the executive director of Crisis Response International. It's a global missions organization, and that has been a full-time calling in every sense of the word. It is boots on the ground. It's emotionally intense, spiritually demanding, mentally fatiguing, but incredibly meaningful work. And I've been doing it almost 2 decades. But in addition, for the past decade, 10 years, I've been building my coaching business all in my spare time. And not because I actually had tons of spare time, and not even because I was trying to escape my other responsibilities or buffer because I didn't want to do something. It was because coaching really is one of the most life-giving things I've ever done. It sews into me because it's part of who God says I am. It's making up my identity, my unique original design. It's me revealing the character and nature of God in the purpose that I have. And when I started expressing it, what it did was it showed me how to belong with the people who need what I carry and want it and desire it and value it. Like there's belonging there. It's not fitting in. It's a belonging. And it's not a connection of like all in all, everything belonging, but it really is identity, purpose, and belonging work for me that is so fulfilling because part of who I am is a supporter and a promoter and an equipper of other people. So it created a container for me to do everything I'm passionate about doing. And that made me want to give every ounce of time I could eke out of the day. It's just fulfilling differently than being a mother or an executive director is. It allows me to walk with clients through transformation and purpose, their identity and their legacy. It's where I get to show up with my own story, my own wisdom and experience, and my voice at the table in a way that's very personal to me, but very deeply impactful for others as I learned how to put my story into a message that could have a container other people could drink from, right? And the beauty is that I didn't have to choose one or the other. Like, do I start coaching? Do I start a business and quit this other job or stop, shopping or cleaning the house or homeschooling or like all things, right? I didn't have to do that. I've actually figured out over time how to go like crockpot style, low and slow, live out both callings in different seasons and rhythms and just keep going. I didn't have a need for it to all be perfect or be at the end quickly. I knew it was going to be a journey. I knew I had other things to do, but I knew I couldn't keep suppressing this calling in my heart. That's why I believe so strongly that coaching can be your side hustle. Even if you don't make money doing, be your side hustle, because it gives you fulfillment. It doesn't have to uproot your life. It can actually add to it. And it can be a space where your personal purpose gets to get out there and stretch its legs and grow its muscles, right? So if you have a full-time job or a part-time job, or you manage a ministry, or you're juggling all these millions of things, you don't have to count yourself out. I chose not to, and I'm glad that I said yes back then when I did, because it's led to me being where I'm at 10 years later. And I know so much more about myself and what I have to give and how much capacity I have in every season. And in addition to running CRI, we call Crisis Response International CRI, CRI, and because there's a lot of syllables, you know what I mean? In addition to that, I didn't just build a coaching business or all my methods, all of that, while leading a nonprofit ministry. I built it while I was homeschooling kids, running the house. My husband would be gone from anywhere from a week to 3 months at a time on a deployment. Sometimes we all packed up and went as a family and lived on a deployment. And the longest deployment our whole family lived on was 4 months. We lived on Long Island in Lindenhurst after Hurricane Sandy. And we were actually on Long Island when Hurricane Sandy hit. So and then a blizzard hit right after that. So we'd already been doing work to muck out flooded homes. And then a blizzard came and basically the water just pushed all of everything we put in the street for the dump trucks back into the houses. But we had church on the street, and we were serving coffee and pizza and baked ziti that people would bring and volunteer with to all the people and ministering and leading people to the Lord. And it was really beautiful, and it was also very hard. And that's okay that it was hard. You know what I mean? It's okay to do hard things and get through them. It builds your resiliency. Doing multiple things at once is sometimes just the way that life is. And the idea that utopia means I'm doing the one thing that's my favorite thing to do, and that's all I ever have to do. And it's easy and it's comfortable and it's safe and it makes money and everybody's happy about it. I've never seen anybody model that. Have you? To me, the people I respect are the people who model real life experience where it can be messy and they accept that it's great and it's terrible, but they find contentment and they lean on the Lord. I'm like, let me stand behind that person and watch what they're doing in their life, you know? So we would pack up one life and start another in a brand new state even. I'm currently living in my 19th address in 23 years of marriage. That's not even counting all the times I moved before I got married. But while navigating all of the unknowns, the in-betweens, and all the normal chaos of life, I started developing what was in my heart. I started writing it down. There is no perfect season or wide open calendar, no magical window where everything aligned and said to Laura, now is the time. Go for it. It will be smooth and easy. I just started with what I had. I had an hour here. I had a nap time over there. I would have Zoom calls from the kitchen table if the kids were outside, maybe even my bathroom in a chair where the plain wall was behind me and the door was locked. I would do work after everybody went to bed because I had energy and inspiration unto this thing I was passionate about and called to. And over time, those small moments of obedience and inspiration and being intentional became something really beautiful that developed and evolved into other things. So I just want to say to you, it's possible. If you're working, parenting, schooling, relocating, in the transition of life seasons, doing any combination of life stuff, you can still coach. One of my favorite people in the world, Coach Patty, she's also a sign maker, and she made me a gift of a sign that says, I'm not saying I'm Wonder Woman, but nobody's ever seen us both in the room at the same time. It makes me laugh so hard when I look at it because I'm such a regular person. I cry, I scream, I get in the weeds, I just keep going, I fail. I do all of the things, you know. I'm not just coaching other people. I'm constantly coaching myself, constantly being discipled and mentored by others, constantly consuming the word and the truth and trying to fill myself up with things that I want to be able to pour out. But I am a regular person. I'm not actually a podcaster. I'm like this girl sitting here in this chair. I love being a wife and a mom, and I love running my missions organization to bring hope around the world. I love leading the Cry family of responders who go with us. I love coaching. I love building businesses. I love strategizing and visionating and building and worshiping Jesus and trusting God to lead me every step of the way. It doesn't make me Wonder Woman. It just makes me a daughter whose goal is to be a good steward of what God's called me to do and a supporter of the people he sets in front of me, and a girl coming up out of the wilderness leaning on her beloved. That's all it says. I'm doing it imperfectly, but I'm just going. I just decided to say yes and just go and try. You don't have to wait for perfect. I didn't wait for perfect, so that's how I got this far down the road. I just started. I took action, then I got more clarity, and then I just kept going. It built to something. Make sure you never compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. I'm nowhere near the end. I'm not perfected. I'm just right where I need to be. You are right where you need to be. And you just need to be willing to begin and keep going when you get in the weeds, to fall down and stand up and try again, and be willing to show up for what's in your heart. Just don't aim for instant success. It's not possible, but it's also not fruitful. It's actually not as enjoyable as you think it is. Aim for the 1,000 things that teach you how to get there. Every no is actually one step closer to the right yes, and you want that. Practice persistence like it's really your true strategy. Thomas Edison, he did it. History remembers him for it. He famously said that I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. So whether you go for 10 or 1,000 or 10,000, the takeaway is the same. You just have to keep going. It's a powerful reminder that failure isn't final. It's actually very formative. It's not fatal, right? Because your calling isn't going to show up at your convenience. It's going to show up in the margins and the mess and the middle. And that's where I found mine. So whether you're working full-time, part-time, transitional season, I want to help you know how you can get started, how you can understand coaching as a side hustle or passion project while you're in the middle of doing everything else that you're doing. And who knows if one day it doesn't turn into a full-time business, but you don't have to start with the expectation it will be a full-time income-generating business overnight. That's not how anything builds and grows and becomes successful. It takes time and work. It requires consistency and intention and motivation and doing the hard things and growing and changing and pivoting. That's what it takes. So let's start with number 1, clarifying why you want to coach. Ask yourself, why coaching? What draws you to it? What kind of people do you feel pulled to help? What impact do you want to have in somebody's life? It matters because your solid reason why is going to help you narrow your focus and get anchored when things get slow or difficult or become confusing or overwhelming. And it's going to help you filter out your comparison or pressure against other people. So your solid reason why is the foundation of your passion project and side hustle. It's not just something else you have to do or you should do. It's actually something that adds purpose to your hours and days and weeks. When you're in a job that you don't love, or when you're in a job of being a mother or an educator of all of the people you're responsible for, you love it, but the days are long, the seasons are short. So while you're in the midst of that, you could have something that doesn't make you ungrateful for what you have as a mother with those kids or somebody with this beautiful job over here. It doesn't make you ungrateful for wanting something else. You're not wanting something to replace it. You want something in addition to it because you're more than mom, you're more than wife, you're more than friend, you're more than boss, you're more than employee. You're also this woman that God calls you to be. And if God says that you're a coach, then that's also part of you. And you're feeling something rise up in you because you're leaning into that identity. Number 2, define your actual availability in time and in energy. Like I said, you don't need 20 or 40 hours a week to start coaching. You just need intentional time. What is the time you could give it? Look at your schedule and ask, what's realistic in this season? Can I set just 2 to 4 hours a week to start? When do I have the energy, not just the time? What's the best time of day? If you're at work 9 to 5, well, do you have energy when you get home, or do you need to get up earlier and spend an hour 2 or 3 days a week before you go to work to dig into this? Or should you use your lunch hour? Or do you actually have time when you get home or energy after 9 o'clock, If you are a mom and you've got all these kids running around, is it nap time? You think that you don't have time, but everybody has time. You just don't have time management skills. You're not using your time to the best of your ability. You just have to decide, okay, I'm going to put this all together. I'm going to be intentional about this. I'm going to be committed to myself. you can start with, first of all, just writing down what's in your heart. What would you say to the people that you care about, the people you would like to coach? What could you teach them? What do you know about them and their lives? What have you lived out? Start writing it out, journaling it. It can become anything. You can start doing one-on-one coaching here and there, right? One night a week, set it aside and say, I'm gonna work to get us a practice session with somebody, anybody, one day a week, one night a week. You could have Saturday morning sessions. Just take the morning off, or take it to yourself, ask somebody to watch the kids, and just take that time to work on it. I used to do that. I used to leave the kids at home with my husband, and I would go to this. We used to live in Nashville at one point, and I remember I would do this in a lot of different places, but specifically in Nashville, there's a place called Pinewood Social. And oh my gosh, I just love this place. And it was open from morning to night. And you could sit in all these beautiful spaces and drink coffee and eat a pastry, which I can't have anymore because I'm gluten-free now, because that makes me angry when I have gluten and yeast. But a side note, I would go and sit there at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I would just sit by myself until lunchtime started being served. And I would move to a booth and get lunch at 12 o'clock, and I would stay there and just keep working and leave a nice tip. I basically had this most beautiful office where people served me, and all for the price of a coffee and lunch and a tip. And I loved it. And I was surrounded by people, the energy of all these people that I would think about what did they need in life and how can I help them? But they actually weren't talking to me. They weren't pulling on me. They didn't need me to do their laundry. They didn't need me to kiss the boo-boo on their knee after they fell off their bike. They didn't need anything from me. But I still got to be in the energy of that place and all of those people. And that, I just love that. I still do this today. Yesterday, I went to a coffee shop and I worked for 3 hours with one coffee. And then I took myself to lunch and I had a sandwich and a salad. And I sat there for 2 hours and I worked. And I always leave a good tip because I don't have a costly bill, but I want to take care of the people that I'm taking up the time at their table. And I have these places that I like to go to work where I can get away for just a little bit and not have dogs barking or bills to pay or visual reminders of all these other things that need to get done because I'm being intentional about building my business and doing what people out there need me to do for them, right? So you could even just do practice sessions during your lunch hours if you have a job. Ask somebody, can I coach you? What do you need to be coached on? The goal isn't to go really fast. It's just to be faithful. And then you can, number 3, just start with people you already know. You don't have to launch to the masses. Start offering coaches to people in front of you, your neighbors, coworkers, friends, people at church, online. Anybody who's ever asked you for advice or encouragement or captured you in the parking lot for an hour, go tell them that you're offering some coaching sessions as you launch this side hustle, right? Or whatever. It's a space to talk through things like your identity, you want clarity, you're working on your mindset, you need confidence. And I'm just, if you want to be part of my beta group or try a session, all I ask is, I always say, don't give it for free. Give it in exchange for feedback, testimonials, and referrals, things like that. So maybe they don't have to pay you for your practice sessions, but do ask them to just, write 2 sentences about a testimonial or give feedback on how the coaching went so you can grow in research and experience, okay? But just start with those people. They're not your ideal clients down the road, most likely, but they're a great place to start. You don't have to think that coaching is only happening if you say, I'm a coach, someone else says, I would like to buy a session and schedule through your scheduler, and I call myself a client and I've signed a contract. That is not the only thing that says you've coached them. If they've given you permission to speak into their lives and guide them in some way, and you show up intentionally with a coaching mindset that everybody is the most important client in front of you, no matter what they've offered in exchange or invested, if you show up the best way you can, you're coaching. And you can call that coaching practice, okay? You might not have a legitimate LLC set up with the state and an EIN for your business, but you're still coaching. So just start where you are and experience it and note down that you have practiced today. Make yourself a note. Show yourself proof that you've been coaching all of this time already, whether it's in your business or your ministry or at your church, in your house, at your kitchen table. That's it. Like, you're already doing it. Number 4 is to keep it simple and sustainable. You don't need a fancy funnel. Like, you don't need a funnel ever. Not till way down the road. You need a basic offer which says who it's for and what it helps them do. That's it. You need a clear way to schedule them. You need a way to receive a payment. And you just need to be able to say to people, like, here's my beta offer. I offer 3 sessions for women going through life transitions. I offer 4 weeks of a confidence coaching series. I offer a 1-to-1 mindset clarity call with follow-up journaling for young professionals. I offer a 6-week mini group for moms or creatives or leaders or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So just start with something that you can repeat and manage in your current schedule. And remember that less is more in the beginning. You don't need to go full out. You just need to start small and take some steps. And number 5 is to build your coaching identity just bit by bit. You don't have to arrive to begin. This is the deal, the thing I say, you don't have to be fit before you go to the gym. While you're coaching, in addition to everything else you're doing in life, start sharing what you're learning, whether you do it on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, I don't care. Whether you start journaling it and turn it into a blog somewhere, you start a podcast or you put it on YouTube, however you like to show up. Talk about the people you love helping and talk about the pain points they have in their life and your specific way of looking at the pain, the struggle, the obstacle, or the goal and desire and dream in their heart, right? How do you see it? What would you say to them? Just create little bits of content in small bursts, right? You don't have to have a social media strategy for the rest of Q3 and 4. You just post once weekly. Do a story or a behind the scenes, like, this is my life, and build trust and invite people to connect with you. That's going to slowly grow an audience without requiring you to be on 24/7 for it. And you're going to be surprised how many people are watching quietly and waiting for the right time to reach out to you. It doesn't matter if people don't hit like or comment or heart. People are seeing it. You just have to believe, like, it's happening. Even if there's crickets, it's not the right time for them yet, but keep showing up because one day it's going to be the right time and you want to be there. So that leads me to number 6, be patient and keep showing up, because it's easy to get discouraged if this side hustle, which by the way is a side hustle, doesn't explode overnight, because it's not. It's a side hustle. It's not supposed to. But coaching actually grows through you intentionally building relationship and trust and depth with people. So side hustle success comes out of consistency, not speed, right? It took me 10 years to get to where I'm at. But if I had never started, where would I be? I'd probably be really disgruntled, disappointed, and not doing anything. Or I'd just be starting from scratch 10 years later. So start setting some small milestones for yourself. Like, in the next month, I want to get 10 practice clients. In the next 2 weeks, I want to get 3 practice clients. I have a milestone that by the end of whatever week, month, quarter, I want to have my first paying client, even if it's at $25 a session. Or a milestone like, I'm going to create a sustainable routine that actually fits my life, doesn't sabotage my other responsibilities, but fits in 4 hours of intentional work a week, right? Celebrate each one as progress, not pressure. You're not, when you create a rhythm and things like that, you're doing it because it supports you. You don't live to support the schedule. You live to create a schedule that supports you, okay? It's not the boss. And number 7, when the time comes, you can grow from there. So as your coaching and your message becomes more established, then increase your rates as your confidence grows. You have to share that your rate is something that is where your confidence level is. If you tell people, I charge $300 for a session, well, the weird part is if you're not comfortable saying it's $300 a session, they're not going to be comfortable paying you. So you only increase your rate just because you think like, this is so valuable, I should be able to charge it. If you feel weird charging it, don't ask for it. Increase it slowly. You can add group programs and workshops and courses and all those things later if you want to build up to it. Just keep a journal of what you're dreaming about it. You can also use your own vacation time or weekends to do like special intensives and things like that. And over time, you might even consider reducing the job hours if and when you want to as things kind of grow. You are not stuck where you are. You just don't have to leap before you're ready. It's okay. You can let this passion, side hustle grow with you. Because coaching, it's not just a job. It is really a calling. Not everybody's called to be a doctor. Not everybody's called to be a lawyer. Not everybody's called to be an architect. Not everybody's called to be a coach. It's not something just everybody can do. And callings grow in seasons. They are not just boom, overnight. This calling is here and it's perfect and successful and I don't require any growth or skill set and I don't have to become more mature in it. It's just boom there. It's not like that. So give yourself some grace and compassion for the growth process and the journey. It doesn't matter if you've got 2 hours a week or 10. You have to know that you are not behind. You haven't done anything wrong. Don't live with regret. You're just going to build with wise intention and start small, serve well, and let it grow as God walks it out and grows with you. He's your coach. So let him be your guide. Invite him into the process. Invite Holy Spirit to walk with you on the journey. Look over and see Jesus right there in the car and saying, this is awesome. I'm so excited you decided to put your foot on the gas.
Thanks for listening. For more coaching resources and to learn how to work with me, head to sterlingandstonementoring.com or click the link in the show notes. Remember, walk boldly in your calling, and I'll talk to you next time.